I'm sharing with you my first experience making biscuits and pie crust. In this next photo, you'll see a picture of my first attempt of biscuits and what happened as a result of this first attempt. Well, that was disappointing. They came out flat and rather, not rock hard, but more like a hard bread, or how the consistency of a cookie would be. So I thought I better check what kind of flour I had purchased in case it was not the self-rising flour. Sure enough, it was the all-purpose flour. And I needed to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder for every 1 cup of this all-purpose flour in order for it to become self-rising. So while the pies were in the oven, I went ahead and started on a second batch attempt at the biscuits. And now I will share with you how the pie crust went. I wanted to make apple pie filling homemade from scratch as well, but I was still missing an ingredient at this point, so I used store-bought because I had previously bought 2 cans of store-bought apple pie filling. I only needed 1 can of apple pie filling for these 2 small hand-sized glass bowls. I ended up choosing to use these because when I was making the crust, I didn't have enough crust for a full 9-inch size pie bowl. I wasn't sure at this point if I wanted to eat any of these pies, but I know that I like to have the crust on the top as well, and there wasn't going to be enough pie crust for the bottom and the top with the full-size version. I think they turned out pretty cute. I ended up choosing that not to eat any of these. I just didn't feel like having any, so I gave them away to 2 people in my family to eat, and then asked them to tell me what they thought. The feedback I got from one person, that person said they liked the pie filling, but the crust was too bitter. The other person didn't really give me any details, just said that they liked the pie. When the pies came out of the oven, the second attempt of biscuits were ready to go into the oven. And this is what they looked like after they came out. They were a lot softer and fluffier, and they tasted fine. It tastes really good with butter on them. And the only thing that I have to say critical about this batch was, or attempt, was they're still not fat and fluffy enough. So I think that's just a matter of practice with kneading the dough and folding it over enough times, and maybe even getting the recipe more correct. It's highly likely that I didn't make it exactly as I should have, even with doing a second attempt. We don't have cow milk in the house, and we didn't have buttermilk. And I learned on YouTube from a guy on YouTube that you could substitute buttermilk by using a cup of cow milk and either vinegar or lemon juice. And I didn't even have the cow milk, so I did the soy milk or almond milk, one of the two, and mixed that with lemon juice as a substitute for buttermilk. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I just thought in case it was worth mentioning. And this is what the mess looked like afterwards. I thought it would take much longer to clean everything, but it didn't take as long as I thought it would, so that's good.